Namaskaram. So we have officially reached the conclusion of the first innings. So when I say conclusion of the first innings, there are a set of people. If you clear group 2 alone, you can become a CA. So what you have to do further, we'll evaluate after making you go through the exam mistake tracking. So that will give us crystal clear clarity in terms of how many marks you'll be able to score. At HLS, our ideology is not to look into the paper also. We don't go back during the exams. Even for both group students, we are not going back. We are going forward. For you, it's different. For people who have already cleared group 1, already cleared group 2, and who has written group 1 alone, we want some conclusive evidence of what is going to happen. So that we'll elaborate at your convenience. Not right now, don't worry. We'll look into this. And once this is clearly established, the next transition is you getting into a job like Maitreya or Suresh, getting into mentoring full time like Manju or Hari, getting into practice plus a combination of mentoring. So we'll see what can happen. But for now, we'll give you a clear cut path, and also your Hyderabad darshan will be taken care by us tomorrow. So that is also sorted. Okay, this is about you. Now coming to the second part, the transition part. People have written both the groups, are writing both the groups after group 1 is done. The first and foremost thing is group 1 is done, dusted, over, out. Nothing can be done. Good, bad, ugly. Nothing can be done. Please understand this. But what can be done is earlier we operate with a baseline of 40, 40, I would say 50, 60, right? This takes us to 150. But with the support of my team, we have revised the baseline to 45, 55, 65. So the idea is to donate some marks to group 1 from group 2, which is a clear-cut possibility. I'll tell you why this is going to happen and why this will happen. As a team, even for you and even for us, most of our energy went into stress management. All of us had to handle a lot of stress, logistics, operations, subject X, subject Y, a lot of things are there. And if you look at it, group 1 has financial reporting, financial management, auditing. Group 2 has only one thing, tax. Right? Your mind can work in a linear way. Now, IBS has a combination of everything. So you just have to handle taxes largely. The nature of the subject is the same. So we can now engage our entire attention onto increasing the score significantly. So even if you have attempted 85, 90 in all the papers in group 1, do not worry, do not give up. And this is exactly how I cleared my CU. My group 1 aggregate did not touch what is required. At that point of time, we are supposed to get 200. I did not get 200. It was calculated. It was very clear. I was very clear that I'm going to borrow some marks from group 2 and donate it to group 1. Now, again, I always give you choices. If you do not believe this, you can keep fretting or frowning about group 1 and think about group 2 in some other month or some other attempt. But if you are with us, we want you to quickly transition into group 2. And this attempt, I'm telling you this attempt, most of you will score more than what you think. Last time it was the other way around. This time, most of you will score more than what you think. So don't give up yet. The first 9 hours is done. The first 9 hours is done. Now we are moving on to the next 10 hours. It's just a 10-hour exam, okay? You'll have complete support in terms of this. And this is one paper where we're very confident of touching that, going past that score. Are we good with this? Clear? Yeah. So before we move on to the phase 2, normally it's important to reset. Why are we having this conversation? Reset. Now, when I say reset, once we, like I was talking to Karthik, he said after a long while, it feels very pleasant coming out of the examination center. Forget about the result. I think I've given my best. It feels good. I've done something. It feels good, right? So it's important for us to celebrate that. So similarly, for us to go to the second innings, we're just taking a small, short interval to reset everything so that we begin fresh. That is exactly the nature of this conversation. And I'll come to you, but I want all of you to recognize the efforts put in my team, especially Maitreya is working full time, Suresh is working full time. Both of them are working with Big Force. So they have done a fantastic job. So I want all of you to give a warm round of applause for both Suresh and Maitreya, because without their presence and without their support, it would have been very difficult. The reason is, see, even as a team, when you look at people having full-time jobs elsewhere and come and put the kind of effort they're keeping in, it also drives you, it drives us. So it was very important. They have done a fantastic job in this regard. Now, coming to the next set of people, Hari, come here. Manju, come here. A round of applause for Manju and Hari. Now, the question is, they're already having full-time jobs. These guys are working full-time here. But I'll tell you, you can check with them. Working with HLS is the hardest. Working with HLS is the hardest. I'm telling you, I work with EY, right? The difficulty level at EY is 33. At HLS is 100 because the scope of work includes everything. There you work with processes. Here you work with people. People, right? When you find a lot of difficulty working within yourself, imagine someone handling all of them are at your same peer group, right? So it's extremely stressful. And the biggest problem here is we are responsible. We take responsibility for it. We keep thinking, what would this guy do? What would that girl do? When you have the responsibility, the level of load is unbelievable, unbelievably high, which is a lot more than parents, right? So that way, although it's hard for you to imagine. Only when you come and step and take their shoes, you will even get closer to what they're going through. So that way, I'm telling you, the workload, especially at the mental level, it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard. So without these two people, there is nothing we could have done. So one more round of applause for all four mentors. The reason why I'm telling you this is for all of you, moving forward, this is a fantastic opportunity. This is a fantastic opportunity where, as a team, we decide to help anyone clear this exam in just one attempt, irrespective of their background, irrespective of their previous scenarios, whatever it is. We strive to help everyone clear in just one attempt. Prasad, come here. Come. So Prasad has recently come here. Stand up. Prasad has recently cleared his intermediate. He comes from a vernacular medium, Telugu medium. He has to literally translate everything into Telugu and then convert that into English, and it's still clear. I would say the work he has put in is more than the combined effort of all of you. Imagine you translating that into X and that converting into Y. The level of transition, a lot of people complain, I'm not able to understand an English video, I'm not able to understand a Hindi video. These are the common two ways of learning. But his mother tongue, he did not understand anything beyond his mother tongue, but still, he has cleared. And now he is building a life in this path. So that way, people are willing to do anything to reach a particular goal, a particular objective. So we as a team want to be there for them. So the way these guys are helping you, we also want you to come and help the next set of people. Also, you don't know about his story. Probably I'll present the whole case study when time permits. But I want all of you to give a round of applause for him. Okay. So both in terms of the difficulty and the kind of background, it's not easy for him to restart his career at his age. So this is the kind of work which is happening. So when it comes to one last session, we got a official copyright from the government of India that we are the only one in independent India to create a blueprint for the process. Only one. HLS is the only one to have this copyright from the government of India. And if you look at someone like Prashant Jha, after 12 attempts, 6 years, guys, he just gave us 80 days. He has cleared CA. So this will help somebody like us. And Suresh, seeing him, he comes from a very, very, very humble background. Very humble background. And even to join HLS, he has to take a hand loan, and his story is very different. I get inspired by him. So somebody like Suresh, yes. And somebody like Akshari. Akshari is a mom of a 4-year kid. She has failed 10 times. And still she is able to clear CA. So with the kind of ecosystem which you are building, Manju has a story, Maitreya has a story, Hari has a story, all of them have a story. Each of this is a individual case study. So when with the kind of ecosystem which we're building, one, we'll be able to create a significant class upgrade for any set of people. And two, for in general, for all of you, this is what we aspire. Once you come here, you should be able to clear this in 1 attempt or 1 year. Then get started at least at 1 lakh per month. At least at 1 lakh per month. Eventually build a path to $1 million. $1 million is close to 10th year. Any 8th year actually, but by the time you complete and get out, it will be moving towards the going towards the 10th year thing. So once you have $1 million net worth, it need not happen in the next 1 or 2 years, but across the next 10 to 12 years, you'll have enormous possibilities for you to help yourself, for you to help your parents and help others to do something. It's not about money, but you have